when it comes to actionable signals, why those are important and what the difference is. So the best way I can explain this is when we're looking at candles, we're looking at a range. So we can say that every bit of price action, every signal, every candle is a range because it has a high and a low. This is a range for sure. So what we're identifying within the range with our signals is trap participants. So depending on how this range formed and where it opened, where it closed, it tells you what had happened in the range. So if the range opens here, trades up, and then aggressively sells back down, what does that range have? It has trapped long positions potentially. And this is what a shooter looks like when you look at the lower time frame. It's going to look like a big triangle where they go up and then back down to the where it opened, right? So now if we look at, let's say, a big outside bar range, like a big bullish engulfing where it goes 1 and then 3 in one direction, that range is going to look like it opens, maybe trades slightly lower, and then it closes all the way up here. What happened? It's like, well, the buyers took the offer and it resolved higher. If we go to, let's say, a 3-1, what's that? It's like, well, you have a range. Let's say it's just a 3, right? And then you have another range, 1, doing nothing. So what happens within this 1? Well, it's consolidating, doing nothing, but you also have people that are putting stops at the highs and at the lows. So when that 1 breaks, what's happening? Well, anyone that was long before, either they have to get out or they're going to have a losing position, so they will be forced out. Anyone that was long within this range, if we can take out that range, now they have issues. And then let's say it breaks down and fails. Well, you took out all the longs who were long before, and then comes back in. That's a rev strat, right? So what's happening during this range as it's playing out in here? Well, the sellers sold down, and then the buyers negated the continuity, traded it back up for the 3. So what we're doing is we're identifying the range. What does it look like for actionable signals? Do you have trapped longs? Do you have trapped shorts with the hammers or shooters? And then the scenario of the range tells you what is that range doing, or what was it doing? Is it a 1 where there's no one in control and then you're trapping people of both long and short until it picks a direction? Or is it a 3 where you took out both sides, which shows you have aggression? Or is it a 2 in one direction where it tells you that buyers are taking the offer, it's going up, etc., etc. So when it comes to the difference between reversals and actionable signals, the difference is what happened in this range versus what is the scenarios of the range in comparison to the previous range. Because let's say, for example, price is going down, we have a 2 down, and then we have another 2 to the downside. And then this range here opens, and then we kind of just trade up, and then become a 2 to the upside, and it looks like this. This is a 2-2 reversal, right? But it's different compared to, let's say, the same thing, except we have a hammer, where during this range, it traded aggressively down and then all the way back up. What does this show you? This shows you within this range, you trapped people on the short side in here. So when this 2-2 occurs, we actually have belief that this next range can go bigger in one direction quickly. So if you have an actionable signal, it gives you the condition of within that range, you have trapped people, and then you can expect the next range to do something. Unlike if you have 2 down, and then the next day opens and it's like this, just going 2-2 to the upside. We don't really know if these guys were trapped or if they were able to get out when price traded the other way. Whereas if it's a hammer shooter or inside bars, then we have more evidence of potential movement. So that's the difference between, like, if you just take this random 2 up, 2 down right here, why does that not go? It's like, well, they were already short, right? You already stopped these guys who are long out. When this breaks, yes, the sellers are back in control, but it's not an actionable signal. No one's really trapped up at these highs. Whereas if we go in here and we look, notice this range trapped people. So when this breaks here, we have the expectation that should just go because it's an actionable signal, and our signals precede price movement. So extremely, extremely important. And then once you can identify that stuff, you just have to combine it across time frames and use the broadening information to identify, like, well, did we just go into the top of the try? Yeah, we did. Did we create an actionable signal inside bar shooter here? We did. So we trap people long, and it's also an inside bar equilibrium. So when this goes 3-1-2, what are we doing? Whoever is long in here, taking them out below that. So we can slam the bid here. This range, trapped guys long, they will hit their stops right here, triggering in our direction. So it should just go right away. And then we have a magnitude to take that out. And since it's actionable, we expect big range to occur here. Whereas when this goes 2 up, 2 down, it's not quite a shooter, right? So why does it not go instantly? Well, these guys who were long before, they took their profit in here. It traded up and then kind of grinded lower, opened here, chopped around, and then grinded lower. Completely different.